Hi all. Today I'll be discussing the impact of socioeconomic status on phonological awareness development in pre-K and kindergarten. An overview of my presentation includes discussing my research question, assessing the relevance of the research question in the education field. I'll give you a brief research overview and then delve into some key findings. We'll discuss some disagreements among the authors of the studies found, gaps in research, and we'll focus on how to support the students addressed in these studies. The research question I chose is, how has family socioeconomic status impacted early childhood students' phonological awareness skill development in pre-kindergarten and kindergarten classrooms over the past 10 years? I chose this research question because I have worked primarily in Title I schools. I have worked for the Head Start and Virginia Preschool Initiative programs that primarily serve underprivileged students and families, so this really hit home for me. Some important terms we need to know are phonological awareness, which I'm sure we're all very familiar with by now. This is the ability to recognize and manipulate the spoken parts of sentences and words. So being able to rhyme, recognize alliteration, blend and segment the sounds in words. We also need to understand the definition of socioeconomic status. So the American Psychological Association defines socioeconomic status not just as income of a family, but also their educational attainment, occupational prestige, subjective perceptions of social status and social class. It really reflects quality of life and the opportunity afforded to different groups of people. As educators, we are going to interact with students and families from every walk of life. So we have to understand how a student's background affects their academic performance, and we need to have the tools to support these students who might require additional intervention. Now, while socioeconomic status can impact student success in many areas, this presentation will focus solely on literacy, specifically that phonological awareness development. Research indicates that a steep socioeconomic status gradient defines the cognitive abilities of U.S. students at kindergarten entry. Overall, students who come from high socioeconomic status homes and geographic areas perform better than low socioeconomic students on phonological awareness skill assessments. A few key findings that I'd like to discuss include the role of total parenting stress on a student's phonological awareness performance. High levels of parenting stress have been found to contribute to lower levels of phonological awareness skill development. And higher parental stress is found more commonly in low socioeconomic status homes. Another key finding is that social program participation is associated with lower literacy skills upon kindergarten entry. So some examples of social programs that these students may participate in are their family receiving SNAP benefits or the student receiving free or reduced lunch at school. Some other key findings include that these high-risk children in low socioeconomic status regions tend not to reach the literacy levels of low-risk students. Though their growth rates don't tend to be very different, because students in low socioeconomic status areas or environments tend to enter kindergarten and first grade with a lower skill set, the gap in their success tends to either grow or remain stable. It's difficult to bridge that gap. So, where do these findings apply? This is not just a difficulty in the United States, it can be found worldwide. A few studies that indicate this are a Chilean study that indicates that students who entered at a disadvantage received support, and they tended to have stronger letter knowledge and vocabulary growth than those low socioeconomic status students who did not participate in in-home literacy activities. Another Australian study indicated that students considered to be high risk showed poorer literacy outcomes than their peers who were considered to be low risk. A few disagreements found in the studies we're discussing were between McDowell and Strang and Piasta. McDowell and their colleagues note that the effect of socioeconomic status on phonological awareness increases with age, and that students considered to be low SES continue to fall further behind as time goes on, presumably due to the lack of literacy-rich environments. However, Strang and Piasta say that growth rates between SES groups didn't vary greatly, and this indicates that the gaps seen at the beginning of the year would persist rather than wide or close. Now, some common limitations in the studies I found include the participants being chosen from small geographic areas and limited sample sizes. Many of the authors also note that difficulty in isolating factors outside socioeconomic status may have altered their results. So, for more information on this research, more diverse participants need to be chosen from wider geographic areas. So, knowing that students from lower SES backgrounds tend to perform more poorly on phonological awareness tasks, how do we support these students? One study finds that it really needs to start with the teacher. A study by Pittman finds that there are significant gaps in teacher knowledge of constructs necessary to teach phonological awareness, phonics, and morphology. And this really emphasizes the need to provide teachers with strong in-service training, strong literacy training, and provide them with instructional strategies and materials. Because these low socioeconomic students tend to perform more poorly, these educators have to have adequate resources and information to support them properly. Higgins and Good also found that explicit phonological awareness instruction significantly improved phonological skills in low socioeconomic students. So it showed that they became comparable to their higher SES peers. Though differences in reading achievement remained after the intervention, the gap between low and high socioeconomic groups did narrow over time in this study. If you would like to see some examples of explicit phonological awareness activities, this video is an excellent resource. It gives multiple different activities that are very simple to use in the classroom. It can be used whole group or for small group. So, in conclusion, students from low socioeconomic status families tend to have lower phonological awareness skills than their peers from high socioeconomic status families in pre-K and kindergarten. To support these students appropriately, we must ensure that teachers have the knowledge and resources necessary to instruct and remediate. Providing high-risk students with direct phonological awareness instruction has also proven effective at reducing or maintaining the achievement gap between low SES and high SES students, rather than allowing them to continue falling behind. As a personal anecdote, just get to know your kids, get to know your families, learn about their backgrounds, and try to meet them where they're at. If you understand that a family needs support, try to provide them with resources, build positive relationships with them. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I hope you have a wonderful day.